No. Okay. All right. You're gonna get Okay, thank you. Welcome back. We'll continue on with our meeting, the regular council meeting, and welcome to Betty and Pam for joining us this evening, and you'll be the delegation, so you'll have 10 minutes to speak. So if you want to take the podium, and I'm sure there'll be some questions on it. A clicker, is that what you're looking for? Yeah.
Okay, I'm Pam Monroe. I'm with the Comox Valley Social Planning Council, and this is Betty Tate, and she's with the Comox Valley Community Health Network, and she's also on the Social Planning Board. And we're here to talk about a workshop that we had last November, where we invited members of the local community governments and staff and our two organizations to put on a workshop about social planning and its context in the Comox Valley. It's not working.
Yeah, I can't get it to, what am I doing wrong?
Oh, Clive's in front of
there, I
the
did it. Let's push order. Okay.
Local governments have an essential role to play in addressing community social issues. This is affirmed in the Community Charter, the municipalities, and the Local Government Act.
Sorry, it's not working. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the slide I'm on.
Yeah.
And the Local Government Act for regional districts. Social issues do not exist in isolation. They are linked to other issues such as economic development, culture, and environmental sustainability. Some of you may have seen our report that we sent out after the workshop, but we're just here to update what's happening since that workshop. The purposes of the workshop were to look at social planning in the context of local governments and to explore directions and ways that we could work together. The workshop participants came from local government and our organizations. You can see there was quite a broad participation at the workshop. We had local elected officials and staff. We were quite pleased with the turnout, and we had a lively discussion. So the purpose of the workshop began with a review of the role of local government in social planning by Scott Graham, who's with the SPARC, the Society, what is their name? Social Planning and Research Council of BC. SPARC has done a lot of work with us in the Social Planning Society in BC. They do a lot of work with other groups on the island. He came and led the workshop. And how social planning fits with the Charter and the Local Government Act. And we had opportunities to work in small groups to explore opportunities and challenges, and we talked about things that are already happening in the Comox Valley with our groups and with local government. So Betty's going to talk about some of the priorities that we came up with and what we're going to do for future collaboration.
So the priorities are there on the slide, so I'm just going to give some current examples of some of the things. So for the first priority, which is work with the local governments, work with the CHN and CBSP together to support regular feedback from and information with local governments with a view to continually find opportunities for more wholesome discussion and engagement. We are working together with the Comox Valley Health Network, and some of the things that we've been doing is the CHN has partnered with the Early Years Collaborative and was the advisory group for the Child Care Plan, action plan that was released by the CVRD in December. Also our partner with the Comox Valley Coalition to End Homelessness, and have been the advisory to the regional housing assessment. We have just recently wrote letters of support to CVRD and for their proposal into UBCM around the poverty reduction strategy that we're really hoping will come to fruition and that we'll be able to participate with local governments on creating a poverty reduction strategy for the Comox Valley. With social planning, Pam and I have really been engaged with calculating a living wage for the Comox Valley, and the social planning group, you actually will be getting a letter pretty soon to ask you about the potential of Comox Valley or town of Comox becoming a living wage employer. There's a process to do that, and we're trying to encourage the large employers in the valley, and it's actually going out to the chamber right now. We have 2 certified, and they're both really small businesses. We're a partner with the Food Policy Council that has been recently formed in the Comox Valley. Our facilitator with the network is on the OCP advisory for Courtney. And basically what we did with that is we did all of our partners, social planning, the coalition, the food policy, the early years collaborative, and put in one submission of the CHN facilitator to cover all those. And she's coming back to all these groups and keeping us informed and getting feedback. And we're going to be giving these regular updates. And just a note to say that CBRD has already passed the following resolution, that exploring social planning in the Comox Valley report be utilized as background material for various initiatives the Comox Valley Regional District considers, including projects related to community health network, agriculture planning, emergency management, and housing. So that's one thing that's happened since we had this meeting. And then the second one is one of the ideas that came up because people really wanted to keep getting together, the councils and the school district. And so was to have 3 times a year special COWs, Committee of the Wholes, along with Comox First Nation. And I understand actually CVRD is looking at that, and it may be happening in May. I don't know if those of you on the CVRD board would know more about that, but I have talked to a couple of elected reps who are saying, yeah, we're moving forward with that. So I don't have much else about that. The Food Policy Council is working to advance the agricultural plan. So that's in the works, and that has gone to the Food Policy Council. It's one of their prime priorities for right now. And we're all looking at, interested in supporting more engagement at the local neighborhood level. That says around emergency planning, the discussion at the workshop was that emergency planning was something that all neighborhoods, and it might be a way to engage neighborhoods, something they'd be interested in, sort of a quick win. So we'd certainly be interested in working together on that. And the 5th was housing, and we're already working and partnering with the Coalition to End Homelessness, as is CVRD and the HSS fund. And we're looking forward to working on the action when the regional housing assessment is released, which I believe is going to be April. Yep. And so this is a slide that Scott brought us from Spark, sort of ideas for local government action. It's always hire a social planner, and if not hire a social planner, that social planning be part of the work of any planning in the local government. Serve as a convener, speak on behalf of the community, work within your mandates, and develop an integrated approach. And really, we really feel that local governments in the CD are already doing a lot of these, and that the work now is optimizing them, building stronger relationships to make a stronger community across the whole valley. That's it.
Great, thank you, ladies. Any questions from council?
Yep, thanks for your presentation. Awesome to see everybody working together. Living wage, so I'm super interested about that as well. And I know our living wage across BC dropped last year, which was kind of like really strange to me, but I guess it was the daycare subsidies and So
Dropped in the Comox side.
dropped significantly, dropped in Vancouver, I think, by
Dropped
$3
everywhere.
or $1 an hour. So my question around living wage is, it's not just the payroll, is benefits included in that? Do you guys know? I've asked quite a few people and no one seems to know.
I don't think so. I think it's a gross wage. It doesn't
Yeah.
include the benefit part. I'm pretty sure.
But when we send out the letter to invite you to consider this, I'm also sending the guide.
Yeah.
And it will cover that stuff in there. There's also a little flyer that's specific for local governments and answer some of the questions that local government have had. One that keeps coming up is what happens around contractors or small contracts at local government, and there are some exemptions. So it's a matter of I've never heard about the payroll, so there should be a lot more information coming.
Okay.
And the other thing that I just always want to say about living wage is this is the BC Families Campaign. So when we calculate it, and it's calculated the same way all over the province, but it's for a family of 4 with 2 children, one in school and one in preschool or childcare. And so it's a living wage for a family of 4 with 2 people working. It doesn't necessarily, that hourly rate doesn't translate to a living wage for a senior on nothing but OAP and.
Well, I don't know how anybody can live on $15.97 an hour.
I know.
It's,
And we're actually in a process with them, all of the island, or mostly the island, but also parts of BC, of saying there's different calculations that have to happen in here. Like the way the housing is calculated is not even in the ballpark because it's CMHC data they're using. And so we're in those discussions with them.
thank you.
But the idea of having a community that's paying a living wage is still a positive.
Okay. Any other questions from council? Seeing none, thank you very much, ladies.
Thanks for being
Appreciate you
Thank you
coming
so
here.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so we'll continue on to the minutes of meetings from the regular council meeting minutes of February 19th for approval. Any questions? All in favor? Okay, that's approved. Committee of the whole meeting minutes from February 26th for receipt. Approved. Any questions?
I have a question. I can't remember what it's referred to though. It's referencing schools. Responsible.
Oh, yeah, it was a
And I don't know where
response
it's
from
in. I just
they
haven't
wanted.
In the committee, the whole meeting?
No, it's in correspondence. I think.
Yeah, okay, it's in course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so,
get
no
that.
questions.
Yeah. Okay. That was regarding Comox and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, sorry, so referrals, okay, so for committee of the whole meeting minutes for receipt, then all in favor? All right. And the special council meeting minutes from February 15th for approval. Questions on that? All in favor? Okay, and then the February 26th. Questions? All in favor? Okay. Down to unfinished business, the management report for February 4th, be received. Any questions? Marty?
Well, this one, I just seeking some clarification, I guess, regarding that way trust. The Attorney General is waiting to have a meeting with KSM, is that correct?
I'll leave it to the CAO.
They've advised us that they would like to have a meeting with the past. I have heard about a meeting being set up,
Yeah.
about a date or whether a meeting's being set up yet. We're not aware of it having achieved a meeting yet.
We have sent KFN an email requesting to meet with them regarding this at the Northeast Woods. That was 2 days ago, so we haven't received a response yet. So we are eagerly hoping to have a meeting with them ourselves that may move towards the EGM meeting.
Okay, I guess I'm just wondering if we should ask our lawyer to contact the AG and see if there's any movement there.
Yeah.
There's none that I've been advised on, and I spoke to our lawyer last week, and he was asking me if I had heard, and I had. So, no,
I guess no, but this is.
Yeah, we-
so we should probably discuss some of this in another forum.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
yeah, okay.
So there's no protest. As far as we-
Councilor Minions?
On the waste collection services, I think it was gonna be sometime around now that there might be those options for the contract, and it's time to look at contract extension. Is that coming kind of in the next week or two for?
Still in the works.
Okay, any other questions? And for receipt, all in favor? Right, carried. The special reports, the CBRD meeting minutes from January 28th.
Second.
Questions on that? All in favor? All right. And that the Comox Building Amendment Bylaw 1937 be adopted. Any questions on that? All in favor? Okay. Under new business, oh, this is where it was, Pat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had 7A written down.
Yeah, okay.
Like, what is
So,
7A?
so the PR 20-1 annual referral to school districts. Any questions? Pat?
Yeah, I have a question. So, School District 71 replied, they sent their communication, they said, yes, we do need a new school.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, what does that mean? Like, who builds a school? And I tried to Google it, it says the province.
Yeah,
Well,
I had the same question.
Yeah, like, if a school is required and they've got a piece of land, but it doesn't really indicate where they
So
need
maybe staff can help us with that one. Would they just rebuild? So are what they saying? They just want to keep Comox status quo for now because they might build a school. Do you know?
So they're saying that they need, okay, so they had a bit of a complex reply.
Yeah.
Anderton corridor, if we take in the Anderton corridor, we will need a new school to service the Anderton corridor.
Okay,
Yes, so.
because I don't think that was anywhere in the letter.
No, it wasn't.
Thank you.
But that's what they responded.
Page 44.
Says prior to the annual OCP referral in January, the plan for also partnered with school districts
Yeah.
for future school and OCP boundary area. Veterinary B and the corridor.
So they got the two, we were bugging them for a response to this referral, and then they responded to the other referral. Less at the same time, which made it confusing. So that's key for us in terms of if we're planning an area, what OCP designations, institutional, and then working with the school board in terms of what funding.
Okay, so it's a planning and zoning
Yes. The idea is just like a park. If we're looking at building something in the Anderton corridor, just like we would look at what's going to be housing, what's going to be commercial or park space, we would want to be planning out, what are we going to need a school, and if so, location and size. And then we'd also be working with the school board in terms of funding, they would start going on their capital funding to obtain the land and.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. Councilor.
So they're saying that the Comox site is surplus, so like, do we have opportunity to purchase it or set up an agreement like Andy mentioned about part of last week?
Mhm.
Like, can we offer money for that site? Or like, is it up for sale or is surplus and they just keep it? It's worth enough for.
I know we were gonna have a discussion with them. I don't know if it's happened yet. You know,
We're
Shelley?
meeting with them on Friday.
Okay.
In the past, we looked at that site and we thought about maybe a new town hall and some other things there. That might be good synergies way back in the day, and at that time, they chose not to say.
Yeah, having a shared space.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so if there's no other questions, all in favor of that? All right, great, thanks. And the council authorized disposal of the Comox fire rescue truck number 38 for $15,000.
No,
Any questions?
anybody want to buy fire?
Can't make it 16, Gordon? Come on.
Is it comes out with a full tank of gas? or- Yeah.
Do they pick it up?
So any questions for Gord on that one? All right, so all in favor? Great, thanks. Okay, now down to correspondence. We have this piece here from Tara Goodwin and Dean's Crop. Receipt. And any questions
Yeah.
on that? Yeah.
Question,
go ahead.
so the invite is out to attend Sunday, March 22nd. Can anyone attend? Because I would love to attend, but I can't.
What time is it?
It's an all-day affair, and it's like $100 or something like that to attend. And so I think we should have representation in there, and I'm prepared to make a motion that we pay for someone.
Well, how about we just let that go to councilors if they have the time to do that?
She has the time, I don't think she has the, like, it's $100.
Well, this is a council, this would be paid for, it's on council time. Not expected to spend your own money to do something for the benefit of the tax. But I don't think you agree.
With the registration.
But where are you seeing $100? But
Sales tickets on there, it's the very last page, there's the poster.
It's registration.
oh yeah,
Oh, okay.
No, you don't.
yeah, they use their expenses. Okay, so all in favor of receipt of that?
You can get a
All
buy.
right, okay, thank you. So we. All right, so we're done with that. We'll go into, okay, folks, we'll go into the reports from members of the council. So, Councilor Christopher, if you want to take the lead on that.
I attended the meeting with Al and Marty today to discuss some resident concerns.
And Ken?
So we didn't have an RD meeting last week, but the week before, I'm not sure if we reported on this or not, but we got staff to apply for $150,000 grant for the UBCM for poverty reduction. And we also got back into Woodstow today, which was fun. What happened was we ended up dropping the grant from 1,000 to 400 and based just really on funding. We didn't get as much funding this year, so we didn't get as much. But what we will be doing is sending that off to the Airship Advisory Committee and let them take it from here. They don't, that committee hasn't been put together yet, but since we're at the end of the year and they should be ready to go by fall, we're just gonna put it through them. We also dealt with closed meeting and confidentiality policies. This really arose from the fact that the chairs from Cumberland, and they only have 18 they're only in 18 services of the regional district, so the chair of the board wasn't privy to some of the things that were going on. So we changed that and opened it up a little bit. Also with alternates, like your alternate, should they be privy to in-camera stuff and how much and what. So we dealt with all that. And I also met with Harold Long, who has a little subdivision that he's trying to do of Comox. Got in touch with Marvin, and I think everybody's happy. Marvin because he left to go. But I think everybody's pretty happy with the results, and we'll be moving on that shortly. Okay, great. Oh, yeah, I like it.
Attended the water. Just an alternate. Happening. The sewage commission, which was a lot of what you're talking about. Hospital board meeting. And I'm trying to rack my brain about all the other.
Yeah.
One of those meetings. I will report the waste management meeting, CBRD. I went to the point in time with discount training, which the count is next week. So just going to do as volunteer to see the process of that and the training session. So 3 hours. They just taught us to be doing the count and then just met with a couple members of the
Great, thank you. And
Well, I forgot to mention last time that I think that I attended the climate conference. Maybe I didn't.
I think you did.
Okay. I attended the Museum and Archives meeting. They're this, or not this Saturday, but next Saturday. So that's anybody wants to come. Oldest night of the year I attended, raised over $500, so I was happy with that one. And there was a really good turnout, and we have made 100% of the goal as of recently. It hasn't been released on the website yet, but it was reached. I attended a drug policy meeting. There's going to be Don McPherson's going to be coming to do a policy change workshop, and we're going to be the pilot project for this project, and it's really interesting. We're going to be doing more about it in a little while. Attended the Social Planning Society meeting, which we've heard a lot about, coalition and homelessness, and during meetings with the public, mostly about housing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I attended the regional district meeting along with Councillor Graham, and besides all the things that he reported on with the wood burning issue, Island Health has given us, we have $35,000, but they want it to be targeted to the hot spots in Courtney, which is West Courtney and Cumberland. And the rebate for those will be $2,500. Is it just for heat pumps?
Just for heat pumps.
Yeah, just for heat pumps. And one of the reasons they want to target those areas is so that they can get out and provide education for people. So, so we'll see if that has any impact. Also, there's going to be $30,000 spent on a coordinator to oversee this roundtable to get it up and running and to make sure that the meetings occur, because we had hoped that they would have occurred beforehand.
On the show?
Yeah, yeah. So it's on the Airshed roundtable, and it was interesting today because I was sitting beside somebody at the liquid waste management meeting, and they were quite interested. So we'll see where that goes. The hospital meeting I attended in Alex's place, and they have a discussion around their strategic planning. And I attended the Filbert board meeting, and I'd like to let you know that MRG event organizers will be doing the festival this year. And I guess they're quite well known. They're known in Vancouver and Victoria as for their bases. So they've already been out several times assessing the venue and looking at where the power is. And they did come up and meet the board. Unfortunately, I wasn't available that night because I was at council. So I haven't met them, but they're very professional. They're very interested in becoming, collaborating with the nautical-based group. So we'll see where that one goes. But the biggest change, I guess, is in the past, free passes were available to staff in the town employees. And they're going to not have that this year, but what they are going to give is 10-day passes and 10 passes. They're planning a big concert in one of the evenings, and they'll give 10 passes for that. So I guess somebody needs to determine how those passes are going to be distributed. And the other thing is, I would encourage you, if you're interested in the festival, memberships are still available till March 15th, and that, at least for this year, still allows you in all 4 days. So if you buy a membership between now and March 15th, you can get into the festival all the time. It doesn't include the evening concerts. So that's an additional ticket. So I would encourage you to do that if you're interested. And I think that's about all for the Filbert. For 6 hours with the liquid waste management plan today, I feel like I could have given that presentation. Yes, we did not particularly focus on conveyance. Shelley was also at those meetings. But, we were talking about the wastewater treatment, what level of treatment the wastewater would be treated to at the treatment center. And the recommendation, we actually were fairly, it wasn't completely consensus, but we were fairly in alignment with choosing the option that we're going to recommend to the Sewage Commission. It's the disinfection option. It still comes with a price tag of $29 million. So that's over and above the conveyance option. And the one other, yeah, it's not much to say on that. The other piece of that is the waste recovery, and it looked like we were going to make a decision, and then we didn't. So we sent it back for more information regarding some costs and recovery options. And that's my report.
Thank you, and I think Chief.
Yeah, just with regard to the Fulberg, I just thought I'd mention while we're in the open forum that I don't know all the history, and I assume there's some history around these passes, but I would certainly wish to thank them, but to respectfully decline passes for staff, because I don't think it's appropriate use of public free passes. Should go to the public. So on behalf of staff, thank you.
So, okay, so the only piece that I'm concerned about regarding that is that employees need to be informed, because they go up to the gate during the festival and can't get in. They will not be. So if I can just tell them they don't want them first, they'll be really happy. Yeah, I know, it's a bit of a problem, and I think they were trying to, I guess, work with the town. This is really ancient history.
Yeah, and it comes from a good place.
Yeah. So it's an opportunity. It's a new day, new producers and so on, and we've had quite a turnover in staff one way or another. So this is a good time to make that change.
Still, if you buy a membership, you get free passes.
You still, for this year, the Filbert board itself is trying to rejig that whole thing, but they haven't come up with
that one yet.
They haven't come up with a way to do it yet. So for this year, it's business as usual. If you buy a membership, you get.
So I
It's
should
a draw for membership. It's a draw for membership, so it's a chance to take it.
Okay, thank you very much. Pat, go ahead.
So I was to the Community Justice Center board meeting. I don't know the actual update to the minute, but Murray Sinclair, who is going to give his speech tomorrow night, is
Tonight
sick.
and tomorrow. Yeah.
He's sick.
Oh.
So tonight's dinner was canceled.
Oh.
Tomorrow they're trying to do some technology link to continue the lecture. I haven't heard from the executive director, so I don't know where that's at, but he was advised by his doctor not to travel. I attended the Wounded Warrior event with the mayor. That was awesome. Just amazing. I think Mayor Arnott described last week some of the great comments that were made. I was also today at the Comox Valley Coalition in Homelessness, which was really good. I have some questions around that for staff after. And I met with Nautical Days Planning Committee. So I had some updates there, and that's most of my updates. So still waiting on the parade theme, but would like some feedback from council, not tonight, think about what kind of costumes you would like this year and how you will decorate yourself for the parade. We've secured parking through a collaboration at St. Joe's, so we've got that. I reiterated a renewed focus of kids in the parade. I've reiterated that we need more nautical themed events. I did learn that the fish toss has no sponsor. So that's why the fish toss has been, for now, been put on the back burner. I've challenged Dave to find a nautical themed event to introduce, maybe like a rope tying or something like that. Just put my head together. We are looking for judges for the parade. I think Councillor McGowan and Mingus did that with me last year. Yeah, and so, and I'm looking for MCs, looking at you, and anybody else who may want to MC the event. If you want to get up on stage, tell some bad jokes.
Can't be worse than last year.
We are looking to work with Leah, who's brand new as well, right, for the scheduling portion of it. And I mentioned to you last year, we may move your luncheon like by 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, I want to talk to you all about the luncheon, but not.
Yeah, okay. We're waiting for confirmation on the federal arts grant that has been applied for. He expects to hear in the next couple of weeks. He's sitting in the black somewhere around 15 grand, so he's in a good spot, he feels right now. And the biggest thing is that the fireworks sponsorship from Wally Foods has been secured again. So we're good there. Yeah. So Dave's doing a really great job. The vendor, his name's Paul. He's awesome as well. And you know, the quality of the very small team of Nautical Days makes them pretty nimble. So, you know, we were talking about other festivals and things that go on that have great big teams. Like these guys they're small and nimble, and I think that's what makes our festival kind of nice and
So the important part for Nautical Days, has the beer garden been secured? You know, is it still the Adaptive Sports doing it this year?
I don't know. But
yeah. You know, it's funny, there was a couple, 3-5 years ago where it was our Rotary Club that was supposed to do the Nautical Days, and it just, the beer garden fell apart, and people were not happy not having a beer garden. I wandered aimlessly for a weekend.
Yeah, he didn't say anything about not having a beer garden.
Yeah.
He's probably going to reduce some of the food vendors because he felt like last year there were too many food vendors, and you know, but you know, there were lots of specifics other than what I reported on. He's well ahead of where he was last year, and learned quite a bit.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So Elvis is back.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be excited to hear.
He was back last year too.
Yeah, and he's very good value for that guy. So.
Okay, thanks. I'll be brief here. I had as well the special sewage meeting that I went to. The Comox Valley Kin Week, we raised the flag at the town and did a proclamation for them, and it was good to see. I guess we got to double check, make sure that flag has come down too, because the last I looked earlier this week, it was still up. Met with Bill Webb from the Courtney Legion, who is putting together the 75th anniversary of BE Day, and so I think we'll all get it. I've got an invite for everybody as well. Again, Wounded Warrior, and I had a monthly BIA meeting yesterday, and they have some concerns for housing, and they would like to, they wanted to express the need that we have more rental housing. So that was interesting. A lot of these businesses are finding the challenge that employees don't have a place to live. So, and then the CAO and I met with Rachel Blaney today. Affordable housing was part of the discussion. Climate change, getting the other levels of government to help us move a lot of their agenda forward, because again, you know, we're limited on our tax dollars. So it was a good meeting. She's a wonderful gal to talk with, and her and Christy Bell make a good team. So that's all I have. So we will go back in camera. Guess, do we vote to adjourn, or we just slipping back into in camera?
Just motion to move back.
Yeah, motion to move
Okay,
back
move
in camera.
Go back in camera.
All right, all in favor? Okay.
Come on.
Are we recessed?
We're in,